What's up, everybody, and welcome to Pillow Talk, Moment with the Mobleys. I am Johnny Mobley Jr.,
And I'm Deirdra Mobley.
and we are an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday, y'all.
What's good, what's good, what's good?
Greetings, salutations, accolades, blessings. What up?
So I hope everybody is doing great today, staying safe. Today is
Saturday.
it's Saturday. That's not what I was going to say. But
How you
today
doing?
is I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
I'm well. How'd you sleep last night, babe?
It was okay, honey.
It was all right?
Yeah.
You gonna ask me how I slept?
How did you sleep?
Wonderful.
That's good.
Yes.
All right. We go. People, we could do this. Anyway, we wanted to come on today. Our topic of the day is I think it's a necessary one. And I was struggling a little bit yesterday, watching the media and everything. So right now we are in the time of where we just had a young man, George Floyd, who was killed by a police officer. To put it simple, to put it truthfully, there's no other way. He was killed by 4 police officers. And that's all I'm gonna speak on. I know it's a lot of different stories out there why, but yesterday morning, on Friday morning, I get up and I do my regiment, and I start to work, and I get my coffee, and I was looking at CNN, and they were in Minnesota because they rioting because this happened in Minnesota, and just keeping up on the news, keeping up on the COVID, and I was by myself, and I was looking at it, and I was watching Omar Mendez, which is he's a journalist on CNN, reporter
for
on
CNN.
And it was crazy. He was in Minnesota on the block. He was doing he was reporting, basically. And he was doing the reporting, and Minnesota police, I think it was state troopers that came up to him. I believe state police, state troopers, something like that. But they walked up to him, and they kind of circled him. We didn't really see, in the camera, we didn't see nothing or nobody in the area besides them. So they were live recording, and Mr. Omar Mendez, he was being talked to by the police, and then they arrested him. So he was showing them his badges. He was showing them all the CNN stuff. Cameras probably had CNN on them. You know, the producer was there. They had security there. A couple of other people, a part of the team was there that they had to do the reporting. And they arrested him. And at the time, you know, I'm a very reasonable thinking man. So at the time, I wasn't positive, you know, why they was arresting him. And I looked, and the correspondents for CNN, they began to talk about it, and they didn't understand what was happening. And a block down was, if I can remember his name,
He was another
reporter
for CNN, but he was a Caucasian.
Yeah, he was a Caucasian man.
Yeah.
And he was literally a block down with the same, like a team of people, same amount of people, but you had the media out there. And police approached them, and they wasn't arrested. And I've been following all the killings of the black men and women, just like everybody else. And I've been trying to stay out that cluster in my head to be angry. And so far I was able to do it, but yesterday was completely different because it was literally black and white. A man got arrested because he was black. Now, they didn't say that. They said they arrested him because they did not know he was with CNN. That's what they said. That's what the Department of Minnesota, that's what they released. This is nothing I'm making up. It's all on, media. So that is what they said happened. Now Omar colleague Josh was very upset. He literally said he was belligerent. He was mad because he wanted to know why his colleague was being arrested, and they just did not take him in or nothing. Omar was completely calm and everything. And
they showed him actually showing his ID to the police officers.
So he was released a couple hours later, him and everybody. And like I said, they released saying that the reason they arrested him because they wasn't sure. They had to confirm that he was with CNN. That's what they said. That was a moment for me that it was so elementary that I saw a man getting arrested because the only suspicions that they had or anything that they went by was the color of his skin. Now, Omar, being the respectful young man that I see he didn't say that. He literally said it was someone else in the area running by, and he think that's what kind of got their attention, and they walked up to it, And I don't know. I think some black men, we have to, including myself, we have to stay in a clarity space. We have to fight. We have to go against this stuff, but we have to stay in some kind of clarity space. And for that moment, I wasn't. I have Caucasian friends, and they're good people. So for a slight second, I began to think, what if they had motives? What if they, waiting for opportunity? What if they? And then I had to call one of my brothers. I got a couple of gentlemen, man, that we're real, real close, and we can call each other and just empty anything out on each other. Now, I talked to my wife, which I talked to Deirdra about everything, but it was some stuff that I at that moment, I needed another black man to talk to me that I knew could possibly feel the same way and understand where I was coming from as a black man, but also to tell me to handle it different. Now, no way I was going out to do nothing crazy, nothing like that. I have a lot of sense, and I know that's not a way we can do stuff, because being isolated in this world, separating the black and white, that's just something we can't do. And all white people are not bad. At the end of the day, we're all people, and the culture, what we've been taught, all this stuff, for whatever reason, that's where people live through. And if they're not in a place to where they can receive help, want to change, because let's face it, some of these guys, they like doing that stuff. That police officer did not look like he had no regrets of doing what he doing. It was nothing on his face that said anything. He just sat there on that man's neck until he wasn't breathing no more. And it's to a point to where now, killings were happening. We were finding out about them. We were seeing clips. Now, that was a whole video, an entire video, and he literally turned around and looked in the video, in the camera. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't angry. That was probably the first time I got that angry in a long time. Mm-hmm. So I called one of my brothers. Me and him talked because he was angry too. So, but by the time we got off the phone, we knew what needed to happen, because because of the different lanes that it is, them being police officers and we're not, it don't make it right, but it does make it tougher. It makes it tougher for us to handle it, especially with violence. And I get the passion and the pain of, all the police precincts being, because it's right now for African American people, we just do not feel like we're protected. And that's even by the police. So if, you got millions of homes without dads and single moms and all this stuff, and now we can't even count on protection from the police. If a policeman show up at our house, if he black, we all right, but if he white, we cringe. We don't want it. You can't pick who got to come to do whatever. If a police pull you over, regardless of what it is, it's just a lot of stuff that plays in your head. And what people got to understand is, man, this is a traumatic dramatized. It's a trauma of the mind. We're not supposed to live in a world where we don't feel safe. If we have things put in place that protect some people but don't protect everybody. Anyway, that's not what this episode is about, but I needed to say that because what we're going to be talking about today is very, very important. So after I got off the phone with my friend, we got off the phone after we encouraged each other. I was better, but I still was thinking about it. The friends that I have, I make friends, me and my wife and my children, we make friends based on humans and not the color of their skin. And it's sad that there's so many people that just pass this thing on, man. And that's what it is. It's a strong generational connection from folk from back in the day that didn't like it. So, it's just changed. It's evolved into 2020 type stuff. But at the end of the day, my question would be, can you forgive? Now, I know a lot of people are probably saying right now, forgive. We've been trying to forgive. We've been trying to turn the other cheek. We've been trying to do all these things, and nothing is working. They just keep killing us. But I know of police officers in the town we stay in that are good people, and they're white. So it's not all white people, but it is some of them. And I don't think the answer is killing. I don't think the answer is violence, although they're doing it to us. But I do think the answer is somebody got to wake up. Somebody has to wake up and something has to be done about it. And that's the same thing everybody been preaching. I never thought I'd be saying this stuff. But yesterday it really, really got to me, y'all. It got to me and I was angry. But it's not the way we need to do it. It's not the way we need to do it. We have to go a different route. We have to go a different route. We have to, our Caucasian, our white friends, people in high places who have clout that are white, y'all got to say something. Y'all got to do something. Y'all have to say something. I read a statement online the other day, and it says it's a lot of white people who don't agree with this, that are in high places, that have authority, but they say something, but don't nobody hear them. They're not on TV. They're not on, they're nobody hear them. And I believe that in some instances. I don't know how who they talking to make whatever happen. But I know some folk are in have platforms where they can say something. Folk have money where they can do something. The government exists because we exist. If the government can't lead nobody if they ain't got nobody to lead. So we do have power to do something. We just got to be smart about this thing. Because at the end of the day, the violence that you're doing, the things that y'all doing to the police, all these things, I can guarantee you y'all got kids. Y'all got wives. Y'all got brothers, sisters, mamas. And I know in your mind you feel like that's what you're doing it for. But if you go to jail, that leave your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your mamas without you. So think about it. If we're already questioning who in this world, as far as law enforcement, can we trust to protect if you're not there? And I'm talking to my men. If you're not there, how can you protect them? You don't protect your family by one act of violence. You protect them by a generational movement. And that's what has to happen. How it happens, I'm not positive. I'm not into politics and stuff like that deep. I know a little bit, but I'm not that deep. But it can happen. And then at the end of the day, the forgiveness got to happen. Now, I'm going to flip a little bit because I needed to say that. And my wife thought it was very important that I talked about how I felt yesterday. Because as a black man, I don't fear nothing. Because I serve a God that's the only one that I fear. It's a positive and it's a good fear. But I don't fear no man at all. And there's a reason why. Because I'm a son of a king that allows me to be able to do anything. He takes care of me. My life has already been written, and that's what I move in. So he's planned my life. He's given me my wife. He's given me my children. He's favored them, my grandkids, my parents, my in-laws, all these people connected. I mean, it's not by happenstance. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of who God created me to be. So I have a responsibility not to react the way I wanted to yesterday. Because yesterday I just wanted to go out and do silly stuff. Silly stuff. But now I have a responsibility because I have a lot of people who are connected to me that I influence. And one bad decision by me can start something bad. So just think, if you have influence, if you can hear me right now, one bad decision can start a whole different movement. But just think about it, we made great decisions. We have to move forward. And when I say move forward, not forget. That was there's no killing that was small. That was not, it's just not. But it's something completely different when you have 4 police officers kill one man and they stand there and they do it in the street for the whole world to see. Y'all, that's different. That's almost like a don't care. This is what we gonna do, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. That's just different, man. So forgiveness does not mean forget. I have to forgive because I have to not harness that, because that part of that can cloud my judgment like it was going to do yesterday, because of the anger, because of the wanting to have revenge, because of the uncertainty. It just gave me so many different emotions. I wasn't sure about my friends no more. I was thinking crazy stuff. It was just so much different emotions. And then I had to get out of that, because that can cloud your decision making. So if you listening to me right now and you saying, man, I hear you, but this done been happening, for the last, all the people that done got killed, but we can go back further than that. It's been way, way longer than that. The only difference is it's evolved into now is 2020, and we have technology. We have things that we can do to fight this stuff. So don't take a video to just show it on Facebook. Somebody get it. Let's put money behind this thing. Let's change the law. Let's go to the Senate. Let's do what we have to do. One precinct at a time, but we darn near in a recession right now because of COVID-19. And we burning up state and government vehicles, and we managing. So for them to get this stuff back, that money got to come from somewhere, y'all. That money got to come from somewhere. They gonna replace that stuff, and they gonna build that stuff back up. They gonna replace all the cars, but it has to come from somewhere. So we just have to be smart about this. We got intelligent black people. We got intelligent white people that are willing to help. It's a human thing, man. It's a human thing. It's just unfortunate that we got a group of people in this world that feel like they can do certain things because of the color of the skin. But we can't think and make good choices without forgiving, man. You can't harness that. So you have to. And when I say forgive, I'm not forgiving these 4 police officers for me. I'm not forgiving them for them. I'm forgiving them for me, so I can think clearer how to make sure that don't happen again. Put forth some kind of effort that won't happen again. And like I said, I'm not positive. I'm one man. But, I mean, when you see stuff like that happen, it's not ever one policeman. It's not ever one. They are in groups in a team, and they collectively make a decision. Them 4 policemen made a decision to do what they did. So that's my 2 cents. It's my opinion, nobody else's. But I wanted to put that out there because I can, and other people go put other stuff out there. So, but we're going to talk about forgiveness. And not quite on that level, but we got to heal, man. This world got to heal from a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff. And we got to figure out how we get there. Yeah. So, Ms. Mobley?
Well, I'm glad you shared, hun. I wanted you, because I sat here and watched you go through the different things, emotions yesterday, and I know you told me once I came out to work, you told me, you said I'm feeling a little different this morning. And so normally when I come out, you tell me what's been going on. Because you'll catch, you'll start watching before I come out to work, because you start before me, but you started to tell me different things that went on and stuff like that. And so, my job is at that point as your wife is to listen, is to give you my opinion, and acknowledge how I feel as well.
Yeah.
But I always try to stay in a posture of receiving and holding what you give me, and then trying to figure out where to place it, or what my response is before I respond back to you. And so I did what I knew how to do. I prayed, but I wanted you to put it out here, to say how you felt, to say what was on your heart, because the beginning part of moving forward into forgiveness is to actually acknowledge what you feel. And I think I've told you this, several times before. For a long time, when certain things happen, I wouldn't acknowledge that I was angry about a thing, I don't know, and I don't know why I would feel like it was a crime, or it was an abomination, that I, wasn't godly, or I wasn't, didn't believe in God, or I didn't, whatever, and didn't acknowledge my feelings because I was trying to be this super person or whatever. But I did learn eventually that it was okay to not be okay. You know what I'm saying? To say, no, that hurt my feelings, or no, that hurt in a deep way. But the first part of healing is to acknowledge that you've been hurt. Yeah. To acknowledge that what you saw hurt you. To acknowledge that when you saw the reporter being arrested for what seemed to be the only conclusion of why he was being arrested, even though after he'd shown his credentials, and they showed him showing his credentials, and it is what it is. But I wanted you to be able to share your heart, because now it's, okay, Lord, we feel this way. We are angry.
Yeah.
But the scripture says, be angry, but sin not. And those feelings that you have of anger and bitterness, and, then hatred sets in, and all that stuff, then that gets you to the point of going to sin. And that's where we don't want to get to.
And that's what holding it does. If you just hold it, it just brews up, and then not having the right people. Look, I have 6 daughters, man. Every last one of them black. I got 4 grandsons. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 nephews. I have two brother-in-laws. I have son-in-laws.
Yeah.
I have a father. I have friends who got sons. So I mean,
cousins.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I got four of my cousins, man, that pretty much grew up with me. So they my brothers. And they live in different parts. And these dudes are not doing crazy stuff. They good citizens. 2 of them served in the military. 1 of them retired. So I mean, they good dudes. They good dudes. And just to know that, based on somebody, a police officer's feelings, emotions, or motive about whatever it is in life, that he feel like he has the authority to just harm a black man just because he's black. I mean, it ain't no other way to put that.
But as we talked about, I think it was yesterday, or we've talked about it before, that's learned. That's learned behavior.
And that's what I said, the generation.
The
generational stuff.
Right.
These cats, listen, I done talked to the black guys who done told me stuff that they granddaddies and they great granddaddies, and what they done told them and what they done learned, and I'm like, so because your granddaddy did it, you doing it?
Right.
It's a strong connection.
Yeah.
And if you a man out here, if you a person out here, man, and you have no identity, no purpose, you don't have no idea who you are, then all you got is to hold on to that stuff.
Yeah. What's been given to you,
Yeah.
what's been poured into you, whether it's been negative or positive.
And that's the crazy thing, man. And that police officer, he was taught that.
Yeah.
That anger and all that
That's
stuff
a
just
hard
didn't
thing.
come. Yeah. That just
That's a
didn't
hard
pop up
thing.
the other day. He been
Yeah.
taught that since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And everybody, everybody. And those other guys, I don't know. The one guy that was on his neck, he been taught that since he was a kid. And I don't know whether the rest of them just didn't know who they are, was scared to say something. I don't know what it was. But the point is, it was a moment where something different could have happened.
Right.
And it didn't.
Right. Right.
And they can say whatever they want to say, but because of that moment, none of y'all made a decision to try to save a human being that was being killed by one of your counterparts. You did not try.
Yeah.
Do not care but that showed that you did not try. You did not even try. Yeah, one of them said something about, man, I think we need to let him on the side, but you didn't try. You just didn't. So yeah, I was a little angry yesterday, but I'm not happy in a different way. It has to be something. It has to be something. They convicted him. They got him on first-degree murder. We don't know. Third degree?
The charges are third-degree murder and manslaughter, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think because some people, from what I was seeing, some people were asking why wasn't it first. But I think one of the stipulations with first-degree murders, it has to meet a certain, guideline. And I think one of the things that was on it had to be premeditated, I think, is one of the stipulations for that.
And the only way we'll know if it was premeditated if we know what was going on in his head before then. Because he never said nothing.
Yeah.
Because it could have very well been premeditated. He could have been thinking he was going to kill
somebody. Because what they're
somebody.
saying, and again, that's what they're going by.
Yeah. And I get it.
Yeah. But like I said,
I get it.
The only way to move from the feeling of anger and rage and just straight wanting to go out and do something crazy, like you said, is to you had that time yesterday to sit down and process. You talked to me about it. You gave it to me.
And then I had a safe place.
And then you called, and then you were able to call one of your brothers.
I can call and say something and be me, and they allow that. And it wasn't like, although I have influence, it wasn't like when I said what I said, they was like, man, what you want to do? Let's go do something, man.
Right.
Bump this.
Right.
It wasn't like that.
Right.
They expressed their feeling.
Yeah.
And they expressed, something that they had. Yeah, man, when I got to work this morning, I was feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
And, I was looking at my colleagues like, you say something.
Yeah.
Say something. And they would say something, man, hey, man, how you doing? How's your family? This, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, but just watching that, and then grabbing a hold of that anger and then harnessing it can change your entire thinking.
It can. Yeah.
And it can change your entire thinking if you honor it. If you what I'm saying?
Maybe harbor it.
Hold it. I'm going to go with the simple. Hold it. I'm trying to be all on here.
You're trying to be all sexy with it. Yeah. Hold it.
You hold it.
Yeah.
And you hold it and it's not, you don't get rid of the stuff, man. You got to, some of the stuff, like we've talked about in some of these episodes, man, some of the things that me and my wife do now, when we talk back and forth to each other, we understand, we get emotional, and we can be in the moment. And although we are very, very careful with our words, and we practice it so much to where it's a part of our life now, we don't disrespect each other. We don't cuss each other out. We don't do none of that stuff. We have conversations.
Yeah.
But for us to get there, we had to really, really practice it. And during the practice, I would say crazy stuff to her, but she would take the meat out and throw the bones away. Well, I didn't say she threw the bones away. She took the meat out and then she held the bones to show them to me later. To be like, these sharp bones you threw at me earlier, Joker, don't do it again. So it's having the right people around you, man. And I thank God for the couple of men that I have in my life, man, that I can talk to, that I don't have to worry about my stuff being spread all over the world, that I don't have to. It's just men in covenant, man, that iron sharpens iron. That's just it. And these dudes are in my life for a reason. But you got to have that. If you got, I remember somebody telling me one time, a good friend of ours, he said, I don't have to get to know you to know who you are. I just look at the friends. Yep. I just look at the friends and the things that they do.
Your friends tell your story.
And your friends tell your story.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that. So I'm very, very careful of who I call friend, because friend is a covenant word. So I'm very, very careful of who I call friend. I'm very, very careful of who I let in. I got to protect all my gateways. So it's, being protective of a lot of things, but you have to have somebody who's not going to jump on your side and tell you, man, let's go and blow something
Let's
up.
ride. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah. But what blessed me is the fact that you do have those, those few men in place, and that doesn't threaten me as my position as your wife.
Yeah.
Because we did talk first, and then you called him, and at the end of the conversation.
Well, we didn't talk first. I tried to talk to you, and then you told me to hold on, and you left, and then you ain't never came back.
I'm sorry. I did come back, sir.
You did come back.
I got out of. I'm sorry, and this is my confession. I got out of the bed just in enough time to log in to work, and so I had to go back. Did you want to talk to me with a foul breath, sir?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, then I had to. Then I had to go and get myself together, and then I came back.
I was in my emotions at the time.
I know you were a baby,
so I had needed you, and I needed you to come on, and then when you would have started talking, I said, "Babe,
you don't
brush
want
your
me?
teeth yet?"
No, sir, I didn't.
So you need you to go and take care of that, handle that,
right? And so I went and took care of that, and then
you
came
knew I was
back.
gonna say something.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, so
yeah, because I didn't feel like myself. But let me say this: at the end of the conversation that you had with him, y'all prayed for each other.
Yeah.
Y'all pray for each other.
Yeah.
And that takes all those thoughts and all those feelings and emotions that have been, poured on yesterday, just up until now. And it kind of covers them. Not kind of, it covers them.
And, this is so long ago, God told me about, I learned, I'm going to say this, I learned about having a relationship with God and how important that was. And I learned it, but I didn't know how significant it was. But now, because I have the relationship with him, I feel like, because of the way I felt yesterday, sometimes I feel like, well, I can't feel like that because I'm a Christian and I'm a man of God. So, I can't. But that ain't true. That's not true. I have a relationship with him, and he covers me, and but he know who I am. If don't nobody else know me, he know.
Yeah.
He know. So I don't try to pretend to be something that I'm not. I don't try to pretend to not be mad. I don't try to pretend to not feel the way I feel. I don't try to pretend to do that. I do feel that way, but I got options.
Yeah.
And that's what I have. God has helped me put options in place. So I have men, like-minded men like me in my life. We all love God. We all live our life transparently, because it's too much energy to do it any other kind of way. And we move through life like that. And if one of us feels a certain way, because it happens, then we call each other. And we allow each other to spit everything out we got to spit out. And then we help build it back up. And I thank God for the brothers that I have. I'm going to, at some point in time, I'm gonna probably get my brothers together, and we probably go use the studio if Miss Mobley don't mind, and talk about some men stuff. I got some great guys, man. They just good dudes. They good dudes.
So you want to put them on Pillow Talk Moments with the Mobleys?
I need to call it something else.
Oh, okay.
It can't be Pillow
No,
Talk.
I don't think. That's what I was gonna say.
A bunch of dudes in
right,
here. We
on
talking
Pillow
about
Talk.
this is Pillow Talk. Moments with the Mobleys.
This is Pillow Talk.
Men's edition.
We can say it different. This is Pillow Talk.
Nope, we're not gonna say pillow at all. None of them jokers.
This is talk.
Them jokers ain't gonna show up if I say Pillow Talk.
They have Pillow Talk with their wives.
Yeah, not with their friends. Not with their homeboys. I ain't got about one dude I do Pillow Talk with.
You so crazy.
So we'll definitely have to change it. But I think I want to get some other men talking and getting different perspectives and the real raw of how we feel and how things need to go forth and just their perspective on it. Like I said, I'm not a big politic man. I know a little bit of stuff, man.
But I think that the way when you get past all those crazy feelings that you're having and you know how to channel them and where to put them, then you can move on to the place of, okay, how can we positively influence change?
Yeah.
Because I think for me, when I thought about it, it's like, okay, so, people are protesting, and I get that, but then I get the part of it. It looks like the part of the rioting comes in when maybe it's not a lot of the people that are protesting who are rioting also.
Well, I think,
but a lot of the rioting I feel like comes from people who had that moment you had yesterday and didn't know how to channel that or didn't have a place to put that.
But I
get that
listen,
that is they're angry.
I clearly know why they're doing what they because they're angry because it keep happening.
You're right.
And it's like, it's like it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And it seems like it gets where if they're not shooting, it's just always keep happening, and they're angry because nobody's doing nothing about it.
And
that's what they feel.
Yeah, and I get that.
That's what they feel.
But like I said, at the end of the day, it's like, what does looting and burning down things? That's to show the expression of anger. But for me, it's like, let's find a way to make positive change.
Baby, I get
and
that.
I know, and like I said, because at the end of the day, when the night falls, and we're now protesting, but then some people turn that into, or the anger arises.
The anger and the violence, like the burning up. I get that. I'm not saying that is right, but I get that. Now, the people that are looting, like going in the stores and stealing stuff, you dead wrong. They ain't got nothing to do with nobody dying.
Exactly. And that's just taking advantage of the fact that the police are preoccupied.
Yeah, you just saw opportunity. And let me say this. Anybody who's looting during this time, you're taking this, somebody killing somebody, a police officer, 4 police officers killing a black man as an opportunity to get what you want for yourself.
TVs. Yeah.
That has nothing to do with helping nobody. That's selfish. You doing it for yourself. So if you thinking you doing it for anything else, you dead wrong.
Yeah.
That's for you. They ain't helping nobody. They ain't helping Floyd. That's helping you watch no sports because there ain't nothing happening on TV, on a big screen TV now because you done stole it. That ain't helping nothing.
Yeah. But once you get past that, at the end of the day, it's important for us to realize that one act of violence counteracted with another or other continuous acts of violence, nothing gets solved. Nothing gets changed. Yeah. And so, earlier when you said, we don't know what it is we can do. Well, we can exercise our right to vote. We are voters. We do vote. Yes. We can pay attention to and make sure that we're well versed and we're knowledgeable of what candidate is running and watch that.
Well,
Watch that and watch what they, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Watch the debates and watch the different things so we can know what's going on in our society and who stands for what. Granted, you're not going to like everything about one certain candidate. You're absolutely not. But at least you'll be knowledgeable enough when you go to the polls, when we go to the polls to vote, to know what this person stands for, what this person doesn't stand for, and to choose the one that you believe that will work for a greater good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we help. Because if we're not going to take the time, and this is for many of you out there, if you take the time to complain about it, take even more time to go and vote and make your voice heard. If you can call these numbers and call the politicians and call these offices to get things done, if you can show up at meetings locally, because before you can do anything, globally, before you can do anything outside of your city, outside of your state, you need to be doing something inside of your state first, in your particular area first.
At one point in time when I want to say when it first started happening, but man, I mean it's been happening for a while. It's just I say when it first started being televised, recorded, that we can actually see. I remember creating, going into the police academy online and just looking at different stuff and trying to find a way, because it's happening with police officers most of the time. So somewhere down the line, the tree has to be shaken there. It got to be shaken there.
Yeah. I think this is a part of the shaking.
Yeah. How are people who think like this getting in and then influencing other people? How is this getting in our police departments?
That's what somebody was saying. I was reading or either listening to somebody yesterday was saying the same thing.
Yeah, if we've
got to start there.
Even if it can be something that can kind of pull that stuff out in a police academy, and something we can see something, red flags, anything.
Whatever testing.
But once we go through
evaluations,
we go through the whole thing, and then they perfect their craft in a way to where they learn the ins and outs of the police and the police department and how to do stuff. Then they know how to tuck and fold and stuff. And then if they find somebody who have like-minded like them, then they help each other hide stuff. And they help, because I guarantee you, it's no way that this dude, they just knew that he just didn't like black people now. Somewhere down the line, somebody in the police department in Minnesota knew that he ain't like black people. And it's probably some other people that just shouldn't be there. You should not be a police officer if you don't like somebody because of the color of their skin. That's not your job. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Well, I don't know what the complaints were, but I saw that it was about of course they look in the background and see his records and that there were about 18 complaints, I think. I don't know exactly what they were. One involved a shooting or somebody else shooting and he was there or something like that. But, like I said, at the end of the day, we have to find out and figure out what we can do. But it starts with each and every one of us.
Yeah.
First and foremost, are you registered to vote? If not, why?
Register to vote.
Yeah. If not, why? And if not, then you have no place to complain about anything.
Nah, you ain't got
because
no
you
place
haven't
to say
used
nothing.
the right that we are now given, that people before us fought for.
Yeah.
So at this point, it has to be, what are we willing to find out what me and you can do?
Yeah.
Because it starts, like I say, it starts with what can we do?
Yeah.
Where we are. And then what can you do where you are? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it starts right there. And then what once we voted, okay, who do we put in office? Now how do we hold them responsible?
Yeah.
For doing what needs to be done? How do we push laws? You understand what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna see if I can find that system I put together. But I remember creating that because I was frustrated at the time, and that's what I decided to do, is create something, or some type of system to put in the police departments to investigate this stuff, man. And the bad thing about it is, just like we have some of these black men getting killed for no reason at all. Even if they did a crime, it wasn't punishment by death.
Right.
On sight.
Right.
That's just not a part of it. Even if they did something wrong, it wasn't punishment to that extent.
And are we not following the law of what is it? Presumed innocent?
Well, but this is the
until
thing.
proven guilty?
Because I have friends that are police officers, most of them saying, they got good policemen out there. And then some people that you stop, they're suspect. Yeah. I mean, they straight suspect. Yeah. They'll shoot you, they'll do whatever. So at the end of the day, a policeman having a family, he want to go home to his family. He don't want to get killed.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. Whether they were at that point when there is that threat there, then I completely understand with them doing what they need to do to protect themselves and to protect the people that may be in the surrounding areas.
It's so
but
much.
At the end of the day, he was a threat to no one.
It's
because he was handcuffed.
He was handcuffed he
was on his
from
face.
the jump. He was handcuffed, and 2 police officers were by him the entire time.
Yeah.
And for him to be pulled off the wall, to be put on the ground, that was...
He was even seated at one point.
Yeah.
With his hands behind his back.
If he was going to jail, that's what should have happened from that point on. You can read me my rights. I'm on the wall sitting down with the handcuffs on.
Yeah.
What was the reason why you took me not by the police car? You wasn't going to put me in the car. You took me back by my car.
Well, I know they were saying that it was a block of a small part of footage that they wanted to see, that they wanted the body cams to be released to be able to see what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's been released yet or not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's how do we, my prayer, and it has been even, forever, is God heal our land, heal our hearts. Like you praying like, okay, God, what's happening? Because it seems like chaos is all around.
But this is what we do. We keep praying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do not stop praying.
Absolutely.
We continue to pray. We can't hold the anger. That's something that we can't do because then we can't make good choices.
Right.
So you have to release the anger. So I the only way he can be prosecuted is that we don't look at when you're angry in a situation like this, you don't make good decisions that can be good. So he's been prosecuted. He's going to prison. So
he's been charged.
Well,
and
he
picked up. He's been charged and detained.
Well, he going. I'm gonna shut up. Anyway, we just have to have a clear mind to be able to do that. You can't harness. You have to forgive, and you have to have a clear mind to move forward. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you.
It's for you.
It's for you to remove out that anger from that holding place you have in your heart, and to have other stuff come in. You have to think bigger than one person. Yeah. This is not a one person thing, because this doesn't happen in different states at different times. Yeah. So it's not a one person thing. Yeah. So to go after one person is not what we need to do. Yeah. This is an entire movement. Whether we want to be, It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
It is a lot.
And at the end of the day, man, the one of the thing the enemy wants to do is kill, steal, and destroy. Yeah. That has not changed. Yeah. If he divides you, if he isolates you, then he has a better chance of getting in your head.
In your head, absolutely.
And influencing you to do stuff. So it's trust me, it's way bigger than the physical what you see. Yeah. But we can put some stuff in place. So the praying has to continue. Yeah. And we got to put stuff in place too. Yeah. God can't do nothing He can't put no super on nothing we ain't doing.
Yeah. And that's why I said it was important that you let that go, and that you talking about it and talking through it and being honest about your feelings, because you recognize that was hurting you. That had you in a mood.
Yeah.
It had you in a place. And I know you didn't want to be there. And you got to think about it. You know, does it affect, does me harboring or holding it all inside and it turning into, wanting revenge and all this stuff or whatever, is that hurting your family?
And then
is that hurting you being able to perform at your job?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at least it can run over and lead into all that stuff. Because it's in your head and it's in your heart. It seeps down into your heart and it stays there.
And if you hold it, I'm still trying to say the harbor.
Yeah.
If you hold it, man, I'm telling you, it will leak into all areas of your life.
Yeah.
And then you will start hurting people that you shouldn't be hurting. You should not be hurting people. We can't get to the police officer in Minnesota. But then you will try to hurt somebody that look like the police officer in Minnesota in your hometown.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing to do with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Don't even feel that way. Think like that.
Yeah.
So that's where the forgiveness has to come in at, because you're not clear on your decisions.
Yeah.
You're not clear on your decisions. Trust me, he is not the dude that started all this. That police officer is not the dude that started. This thing has been in different cities, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just have to realize that it starts with, like I said, it starts with us, and realize that you have a choice about how you're going to act or react to what is happening around you. We couldn't control what happened, and we can't control what's happening now.
Yeah.
But we can control how we react and how we, think about it, and what our response is to it.
I can say this. Every single person, every single black man who got shot that did not have any type of weapon on them, and I'm gonna leave it there. How am I jogging? I'm gonna stop. All these deaths could have been prevented because nobody was trying to kill a police officer or anybody else. Not having a gun, not having a weapon. How did that escalate for a policeman to feel like he had to kill someone? Situations that happen that you see no weapon, if you're scared, if you're a police officer and you're scared to the point of you can't do your job, and your first result is to kill somebody, you need to take that uniform off. Because it ain't for you. Police officers, this is a calling. You can't, this ain't a 9-to-5 job. It's a calling. And just like you have a calling in ministry to be a pastor or to be a minister or be an evangelist or be a missions worker, you have calls in different areas. It's people called to do evil as well. So police officers, the good police officers that have been called and they notice their life, because I know some, then they do it because it's a part of them. It's a calling. And then you got other ones that do it because they've been called by somebody else. But in this point, anybody who got killed, everybody who got killed by a bullet and they did not have a weapon on them, a police officer can say they were scared. If you're scared, having a uniform and a gun in you need to give that job up right now. That ain't your calling. That ain't what's for you. Go find something else. You have to be able to make, y'all are trained, police officers are supposed to be trained to make decisions in situations like that matches the situation.
Under duress.
jogging down a daggone street. Well, I ain't gonna even count that because they ain't even wasn't even policemen.
Yeah.
But it just don't match.
Was, I think.
He wasn't. He was a retired.
No, I'm saying at some point.
Yeah, he was retired.
Yeah.
That don't make him. Once you retire, that don't mean you ain't it no more, boo boo. You ain't. That ain't what you do.
Did you say boo boo?
Boo boo.
Yeah.
But you got to forgive, man, because without forgiveness, forgiveness is the cloud, the dark. Holding stuff, not forgiving, is the dark cloud over your mind. And I would even say your ears. To not receive what you need to receive, to not think and make decisions, the decision that you need to think to actually change and penetrate something. You just can't do it. So because your mind is clouded, that means your ears, your eyes, everything. So what you say is going to be different because your perception is different because you holding on to that thing because now you see it this way. And trust me, y'all, I'm not saying we can't. We feel how we feel.
Yeah.
We can feel how we feel. I get you. I'm with y'all. I promise you I am.
But you can't stay there.
Yeah, but you can't kill a dragon by cutting off his daggone tail. He grow that sucker back. You can cut off his leg. That don't stop him. You got to cut the head off this thing. Ain't nothing. Ain't no serpent. You got to cut the head off. So if you just trying to cut the tail off or the feet off, the toes, all this other stuff, the head is still living, right, and all the head is gonna do is grow another foot, another tail, and keep it moving. It might take a little time, but that's what's going to happen. So the head of this thing got to be cut off. That's why I say I don't know where the head is at. I do, but I'm not going to say it on here. But I got a feeling the way I think I know where it's at. But I'm not going to say it on here. But this is what I'm going to say. I think something, a system or a program that's not in the police district and needs to go into the training and needs to be a part of police training. And it needs to check up on that stuff. And it needs to evaluate. And it needs to look at stuff. And it needs to look at the people going through the things. They need to put real life situations like this in place to see how they react. And I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about put the black man in the car. Put the black woman in the car. Put the black whatever. Let's do it like this. Because I promise you, even if they get it right the first, second, third, they can't get it right every time. Their real feelings gonna come out at some point in time. If it's done enough. I'ma stop. That we were supposed to be talking about forgiveness on a different level. We was gonna flip it to marriages, but
and we started, and we'll come back. We'll visit it.
Yeah, but
the
forgiveness is definitely, you can't do nothing productive if you hold it on to stuff.
Yeah,
unforgiveness keeps you in the past. It holds you in the past. It holds you hostage in the past. That's what not forgiving does.
Yeah. It causes physical things in your body. And a lot of people don't believe that. But, unforgiveness, it causes, stress on the body.
And let me help you. If you're not sure, if you think you're not holding anything and you think you have forgiven, if you think you have moved on, this is how you know you haven't. If a situation pop up and you talk about back then, you ain't forgave. If a situation or something comes up that looks, smell, taste, anything like something that done happened to you in your past, I'm not saying you supposed to, some of these things you're supposed to remember so you'll know what not to do. But if you talk about the entire story, let me give y'all an example, because y'all act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about.
What's the example?
Because I don't do that. I don't do that, because let me tell you, back in 1980, when that happened to me, I remember exactly like it was yesterday, because it did such and such and such. Now, I understand that she ain't that person no more, But yeah, I just don't. So how many times they done forgave you? We done talked, and I said I forgave her, and we good. But she keep trying to do stuff. I don't want nothing from her. Just leave me alone. Just don't bother me. She bought some biscuits over here the other day, and I threw them things in the trash. I said, just leave them on the porch. You ain't forgave. You have not forgiven. Now, I'm not saying you got to be friends with folk, but if you still responding, to stuff as if it happened yesterday, and I said you don't have to be friends with folk. I'm talking more on I guess I would be talking more on a sibling or something like that. Friends, you just have to pick your friend. But if your friends change, and you see the change and everything happen, you can't stay in that same place. You just can't stay in the same place. That don't hurt nobody but you, because you can't move forward, or you can't see what's in front of you, or you can't see opportunities, you can't see new platforms, you can't see doors opening, because every time you get ready to see a door open, something in the past happened that seems like it, and then you go back there.
Yeah. Unforgiveness keeps you stuck.
Yeah. It stops your movement.
It stops the movement.
In that book I read before one time, I think it was called GPS of a Man's Journey.
For real?
In that book, it talks about...
you know the author?
Huh?
You know the author?
I think I remember the name. Hold on for a minute.
Okay.
In that book, it talks about how unforgiveness can stop a man's movement in his track. Like, it can stop. It can stop.
Yeah.
Talking down. Cutting the man down. Cutting all that stuff. It can stop a person's movement. It can stop you, man. It can stop you. I think that joker name, let me see if I can Google it right quick. Because I think he kind of...
It's you, sir.
I
don't know why you...
It's who?
It's you, Johnnie C. Mobley Jr.
Ooh.
Date of birth 1.
The GPS.
Social Security the number 2.
Of... Oh, man. Look at that thing come right up on Google.
Oh.
Hey, it's right there on... God dog it.
You're hilarious.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble,
Is it?
Google Books, eBay. Boy, you better do your... Bookies.
It's called The GPS of a Man's Journey by my framing husband, Johnnie C. Mobley Jr., who trying to act like
TakeAlot.com. I don't even know who them people is.
He don't know that he's the author of this book. So, but yeah, guys.
But it can forgiveness can hold you, man.
Yeah.
It holds you hostage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of other things can too, but forgiveness is one of the big ones. It can hold you hostage, and it can literally corrupt your mind.
Yeah.
It'll take resident in your head, man, in your mind, to where it'll just take over everything, every single thing.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So, those of you who know exactly how Johnny was feeling on yesterday or anything that we talked about, you have to find a place for it. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to be in that space, to be honest about how you feel about it. But it's not okay to harbor it and keep consuming it, and because pretty soon it's going to become ingrained in you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to act in a different way towards people who have done absolutely nothing to you. Nothing to you, but they're good people. There's good people in every color. Point blank, period. So what has happened was a evil thing, but we have to be careful not to be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. There's still good in this world. There's still good. So we as Christians, we as believers, we got to stand up, and we have to first and foremost pray, and then still be salt and light in the earth. Still treat people, no matter the color of their skin, how you would want to be treated. Still forgive, still love, still feed them, still help them.
Well,
That's the cloth that we're cut from.
treat people how you would want to be treated. That's not in the Bible, is it?
Treat people how Christ-like. Let me put it like that. I think we've always heard treat people how you want to be treated.
I used to think like that.
Which I say that because I try to treat people kind when I'm saying that. That's what I mean. Kind and loving, and if I can help them, help them. Yeah, whether it be in word or deed.
I think I done kind of set that to the side. Treat people the way I would want to be treated.
We can
because and let me tell you why. Because my expectations, that puts an expectation on another person that they can't meet.
Okay, well, treat them how Christ-like as possible.
So I treat them in excellence because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And based on how you treat me back will be, if you get this excellent again. So if I treat you one kind of way, and what I ain't gonna let you do is abuse me.
No, you don't have to. But you don't let one person's reaction change your excellence.
No, but that one person won't get the excellence no more. I need you to hear what I'm saying.
I can't. But guess what?
Somebody else might get the excellence.
But the Lord requires you to still be salt and light.
Now, if the Lord tell me to go back, I will be obedient.
You to be salt and light.
But Johnny, you got one time.
Even if that person doesn't speak, great morning, because that's who you are.
You're right. That's who
you are. You are salt and light.
You will stop talking over me.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But that's who you are.
Don't try to remember. I know who I am.
It's in the Bible.
I know who I am. Y'all. That's in the Bible. I know who I am. Exactly. And I am salt and light.
Amen.
And that's why I don't treat people the way I want to be treated. Because my expectation of how I treat myself is high. Ain't nobody gonna treat me like that.
Okay. Well, I'm not fussing with you and going back and forth with you. I'm living my best. I'm just okay. So there we have it. I did. I sure did.
Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening.
And he's okay, y'all.
Us,
we're okay.
Being a black man in 2020 right now, being black in 2020 right now, I would never think. I don't know how it was back in the day. I know my growing up, I have not seen this much racism head on as I do now. Mm-hmm. And you would think as the years go forth that it would end, but it's just being exposed and brought to more light.
Yeah.
So we have to do something about it because it's getting bad. I understand the frustration. Like I said, I get it. I stand by these folk who looting. That's for you. That ain't for nobody else but you, shorty. I mean, that's what you doing.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I hope your TV don't blow up. Anyway.
Jesus.
I'm going to leave. I'm going to go now. I hope that brand new TV you just got don't blow up. That's what's
going to happen. It's going to blow up.
And burn up the whole high side of your house. Anyway.
Y'all, we
thank y'all for letting us vent.
Yeah. And check on each other.
Yeah.
And make sure that everybody that's in your circle is okay. And pray with one another because we pray that God would heal our land. But first we got to turn from our wickedness, seek his face. Seek his face. Keep seeking his face.
And how do they do that, honey?
Get to know him. Pray. Talk to him. Commune with him.
Where he at?
He's everywhere.
What if I don't know what to say?
He's Lord, it ain't got to be biblical. I trusteth theeth in the midnight houreth. No. Lord, I need you. God, I need you. Because I'm having thoughts that are scaring me. That are out of the normal, out of the natural.
I challenge y'all to do this. And I ask those questions because I know those questions I used to ask.
Yeah.
Because
I need you, Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. Period. I don't know how to talk to God.
Point blank, period.
I was, but here's ask him to prove that he's real to you. Tell him to give you a sign that he's real in your life. Tell him to expose himself to you. I dare you. Do that. And then look for it. You're not going to be able to put your mind around it. It's not going to come the way you think it's going to come. So don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Just sit and look for it. Conversations I have with God, just like the conversations I have with y'all on this microphone. Sometimes it's good. Other times it's what it is. Sometimes I use thoueth. And the other times I'll be like, bruh.
It's hard out here.
I need you. I need you to show up today, right now. Reach your hand down and place it on my head, please, right now, in the name of Jesus. Touch me. I need to touch. And I have to say, Deirdra, get your hand off me. You're not Jesus. I had to tell her that because she be trying to touch me, y'all, when I be praying. I don't know why she be doing that.
I be agreeing. Y'all,
you be agreeing?
Johnny play all day, y'all. He plays all day
she
long.
About she be agreeing.
And I got to be on time for him.
Sometimes she'll be touching me where I'll be thinking the Lord go touch me at. And she talking about she be, that what she saying too? I'm agreeing with you, baby.
I'm agreeing.
Over there? You agreeing over there?
Right there. I'm agreeing.
And then she lay on be husband and wife. All I got to do.
I be agreeing.
Anyway, y'all.
And that's where I'm leaving it at.
We are going to go. Thank y'all so much for allowing us to vent. I hope this helped somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It did.
Definitely reach out to us on momentswiththemobley@gmail.com. Facebook, any social media platform that we have.
Facebook, Instagram, Moments with the Mobleys.
Yeah, just
Twitter,
reach out.
Mobley Moments, YouTube, Moments with the Mobleys.
Reach out, and I want you to share your feelings. I want you to share your feelings from a healthy place.
Yeah.
And that healthy place can be a mad place, an angry place, but I want you to share it from that place. We want you to get it out. And then let's get that stuff out and let's forgive. And then let's move forward with clear minds, making great choices to make a change.
Absolutely.
All right?
We know, and our stance is that we are, as I said, seeking God and trusting Him. And we know that His will be done.
Every day.
In the earth, as it is in heaven.
Every day.
Y'all stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
Make great choices.
COVID's still out here floating too, so stay safe, cover yourself. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Love one another.
This has been Pillow Talk.
Thanks.
Moments with the Mobleys. This is a different kind of pillow. We ain't in the bed on this pillow. This pillow on the couch. We were sitting on the couch on the pillow. This has been Pillow Talk on the couch. Moments with the Mobleys. I am Johnnie Mobley Jr.
And I'm still in agreement with him. I'm still his wife, Deirdra.
We are an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.
Night, night.